We are back. Our first episode of the off season. Hot off the heels of locker cleanout day, exit interview day, whatever you want to call it. I always find this day so frustrating because I want to go into it with a level head and realistic expectations. Like, nobody is coming out today and making any big proclamation. Like, no one's coming out and saying, we're trading this guy, we're firing this guy. Like, no one's doing that. Like, it's all going to be PR. It's all going to be, we believe in the group, we were so close, blah, blah. So it's like, I want to have realistic expectations. But there's a lot of people, after listening to Brendan Shanahan and Kyle Dubas in particular today, who were upset. And honestly, I don't begrudge you for feeling upset. Like, I really don't. Like, those guys, Brendan Shanahan, I was in awe watching Brendan Shanahan today, and not in a good way. Like, if you didn't know any better and you listened to Brendan Shanahan speak today, you'd think this team just lost in Game 7 of the Cup final. Like, you'd think, oh, we were right there. What, right there for what? And he comes out right away and he goes, we're not going to make change for change's sake, and everybody's coming back. It's like, Brendan, you haven't won anything. You're in the exact same place you were the first season that you hired Babcock and whatever. Like 6 years ago, you haven't made any progression. And there's a lot of people who heard me say that who are freaking out right now. But it's like, you haven't got past the first round, Brendan.
Here's my problem with Brendan Shanahan, and all the hot takes are being thrown around him. What's his role? What is his role?
To be Kyle Dubas' number one cheerleader. That's his role.
He's always compared to Masai because of where they are.
That's a joke.
Yeah, but like in terms
it's
of
a joke.
Like, I'm hearing a lot. I know we'll get to this, but I'm hearing a lot of like summer of Kawhi type stuff. When I look at the other franchises in the city, when you look at Mark Shapiro, what is Mark Shapiro?
He runs the team.
What is Masai Ujiri?
He runs the team.
What is Brendan Shanahan?
They're not. Shapiro and Masai are not the general manager, but we all know who makes the decisions and where the buck stops.
So what is Brendan Shanahan? What is he?
I told you, he's Kyle Dubas' number one cheerleader.
Who can give you an answer to that? Nobody. So I have a hard time sitting there, even though I agree, he sounds like a complete idiot.
Yeah, he does. He sounded like, this was literally my face watching him speak today. I was like, what are you talking about?
But when I hear him talk and I look at everybody up on the podium speaking, my eyes don't go to him because I don't know what he is. Yeah. What is he? I have no idea.
I told you, he's Kyle Dubas' number one cheerleader.
That's
what
the
he is.
problem with his role as president of this team compared to the other presidents of other franchises in the city. I don't know what he does. Mm-hmm. What does this guy do? Mm-hmm. Exactly. He's a cheerleader. So why do we care about him?
It's I
don't know.
You'd think that the buck begins and ends with him because of his title.
It clearly doesn't, though.
Yeah, no, it clearly doesn't.
It clearly does not.
Because Kyle Dubas has autonomy to make decisions. But I totally understand if you're somebody who is feeling frustrated after listening to that today. Like, these guys, it's crazy to me. And it's like, I'm not going to dispute regular season accomplishments. But it's like, I literally saw a guy on Twitter today who said something to the effect of, Leaf fans have forgotten the importance of regular season accolades or accomplishments or whatever. It's like, the point of the regular season is to set yourself up for playoff success. Playoff success. That's the point. So what are we doing? And you listen, and it's just like, again, I know they're not going to come out and say, we're trading somebody. But to come out and to, like, quadruple down and say essentially the exact same thing you said last year after blowing it to the Montreal Canadiens. Like, you could have taken, why even come out today? You could have taken what you said after Montreal last year, just played it over the loudspeakers.
Well, we already touched on this. The problem is, it's just like, good series. You lost nobly, but wrong time.
And the result is the same.
Exactly.
So when Shanahan says We're not going to make change for the sake of change. It's like, if you're sitting here and you're a Leaf fan and you're going, how can I have confidence that the result next year is going to be any different? The answer to that question is, I don't know. Because for all intents and purposes, they're going to run this team back. So let's get to Kyle Dubas, all right? Elliot Friedman on the radio yesterday, he was the one who said summer of Kawhi.
So effing stupid.
No, but listen. He's the one who said summer of Kawhi. I do think that that's apropos in the sense of you need to make a significant change to the DNA of your team. Kyle Dubas is not Masai Ujiri. Masai Ujiri fired the coach of the year and traded a beloved hometown drafted player to change the DNA of the Raptors, okay? That took a certain level of ruthlessness to just, I am going to win at any cost. I distinctly remember watching the All or Nothing documentary and sitting and reviewing it with you after, and you looked at me and you said, I don't know if Kyle Dubas has what it takes to be a real son of a bitch, to do what it, to make the moves necessary that need to be made. I can't even speak. I'm so freaking fired up. Like, and I agree with you. He wants to be everyone's pal. He just is like, oh, we believe in these guys and their character and it's like, listen, I that's great. That's great. That's awesome. You don't want jerks on your team and in your room. Totally understand that. But like Kyle, and again, I don't expect them to come out and trade and say, we're trading William Nylander or whoever, Jake Muzzin or whoever. But I would at least like to hear something along the lines of, it wasn't good enough. Everything is on the table. We're going to look at all options. We're sick of failing around here. That's not what I heard. That is not at all what I heard.
Well, where do you think summer of Kawhi came up from? Do you think Elliot just said that, or do you think he heard it from somebody?
He probably heard it from somebody.
Here's the stupidest part about that. I know it's nice to say that in theory. Does anyone remember why Kawhi Leonard got traded in the first place?
Well,
because he was with a storied franchise who thought he was faking an injury. So through the most miracle thing of all time, he was available. And that was just a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
I think the point, though, is not getting Kawhi back. I think you hone in on the fact that DeMar DeRozan.
No.
Okay,
That
right.
I totally disagree with you.
Okay,
that's a once-in-a-lifetime chance that a player like that is available. DeMar DeRozan is half the basketball player.
I know.
It's
but
just,
I know, but
it's
I think,
impossible.
I know,
it's impossible, man.
I know, but I think the point he's trying to make is DeRozan was not unlike some of these core pieces the Leafs have, in the sense that like he was drafted by the organization. He was supposed to be
It's not plausible though.
Yes, I know.
It's not plausible.
I know.
That's what I hate about this. Okay, that's fine. Be ruthless. Who are you gonna go? Who's faking an injury for a player in the NHL right now who's just waiting to be scooped up? It's impossible. You can't do it.
I know. I think,
but I think the point
is, I think the point is, and I think who's the core of this team? And I know today Kyle Dubas was like
four players.
I would say it's five. I'd throw Morgan Riley in there too. And I know Kyle Dubas said today, like, I don't see the core as this group of 4 or 5 guys, but it's like, sorry, that's the core, Kyle. And I think when people look at it, they say the heart of this team is those 5 guys. If you want to throw Jake Muzzin in there, Jack Campbell, TJ Brody, okay.
No, it's the 5 highest paid players on the team.
Sure. So this group continues to fail in the biggest moments. Yes, I understand and acknowledge this year was different, and I totally understand that. But they continue to fail in the biggest moments, and they just keep... There seems to be no repercussions. So this is where firing Sheldon Keefe comes in. And I know that you don't agree with this, but the reason why I honed in on it is because it's at least a change you can make that is going to signal losing again and blowing another series lead again will not be tolerated for one of the most storied sports franchises ever. Like, I was listening to Overdrive before you came over here, and Noodles made a great point about how if you look at the other storied franchises in the world, the Yankees, the Cowboys, do you think this would be tolerated? You think the New York Yankees would allow this to happen for 6 straight years? No.
It's a different game, man.
So I know that, but it's just like so.
Yeah, but
I understand people's frustration. I really do. It's hard. It's really, really hard.
I just think we're way past the point of just finding a scapegoat. Like, what impact does Sheldon Keefe make on the game? He matches lines, and he sets special team rotations. That's it. This problem goes back further than him.
Yeah, so you point at
You had a coach who was supposedly the greatest coach of all time, who was responsible for coaching the greatest hockey team ever assembled twice, and was pegged to be the best coach in the NHL. He failed. He failed at this. Now you bring a new guy in who didn't have a full season at the start, through COVID. I know it's not an excuse. And then this year, it's the same result. It's just, it all, to me, I'm listening to today, and I hear the questions about coaches that are available and maybe firing Sheldon Keefe. But I'm sorry, if you dissect this any single way, it all goes back to the general manager.
Do you think Kyle Dubas has what it takes to make a ruthless move and move one of these quote-unquote core guys out?
I'll answer it in 2 ways. Number 1, no, I don't. Number 2, I don't think it will make a difference. I think trading a guy, say you trade Nylander, okay, and you get back a number 2 or number 3 defenseman and a depth forward. It's not good enough still.
Yeah.
The way he assembled this hockey team is why this hockey team is failing. You have 1, 2, 3 guys making over $10 million. There's 8 teams left in the playoffs. There's only 2 players out of the 8 teams that are making over $10 million. Connor McDavid or Temi Panarin. And you're telling me that you're going to have 3 guys. 2 of them are elite hockey players. One's a glorified fourth line.
One of them is arguably the worst contract in hockey.
It is the worst contract in hockey, period. So you're telling me that Marner and Matthews, I think Austin Matthews earns his money, okay?
Yes.
Mitch Marner, very good hockey player. But like, I go on, like today, I'm thinking about it. I go on Cap Friendly. I go to every single team still left in the playoffs. You put those 2 up against any other 2 in the NHL, are they that much better?
No, because they're not.
They're on par with all of them. And it's just the way he constructed this team with these contracts, it's just, he just handcuffed himself. You're stuck with these guys because you have no choice. And that was his decision.
Yep.
He was the one who signed all those contracts. Mm-hmm. And that's why this team is in the position they're in right now. There's no other way to look at it. And you're paying Jake Muzzin $5.5 million to be a 4th defenseman.
Even though the Leafs have been eliminated, we do get a slight consolation prize as Canadian hockey fans. We get a great series in the Battle of Alberta.
Great series.
It is. It's a really, you know what? It's rare that a non-Leaf series gets me as fired up as this one. So you know what we went ahead and did? We went ahead and fired up the BetStamp app, and I'm going to take the Oilers money line on CoolBet. I don't think the Oilers are going to win the series, but I do think they are going to come out of the chute hot in Game 1. So I'm going to go Oilers money line in Game 1. What's the over-under in that game?
It is, right now it's mostly sitting at 6.5. There is one app having it right at 6. The Score Bet has it right at 6. Proline Plus has the best odds for the over at plus 110. Proline Plus. And if you're looking at that Oilers money line, you want to head right to CoolBet.
Yes, so I will be doing CoolBet for Oilers money line.
Plus 141 for the Oilers money line.
So I'll be doing CoolBet Oilers money line, and then I'll probably do the Proline Plus over.
Yeah,
so
it's a tough
parlay.
one.
So a little parlay. Over or under? What do you think?
I think you should go over in the first game.
because
it's going to be a banger. It's either going to be 1-0.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The Oilers don't play like that.
No, they don't.
I feel like it's going to be a war, or one team's going to get blown out, and then the other team's going to react with toughness. I don't know. It's a tough call, man.
So I'm going to do a cross book parlay of the Oilers money line on Coolbet and then the over on Proline Plus. That's the beauty of the BetStamp app, is you can do a cross book parlay on their app and keep track of all your various wagers and line shop, just like we did. Now over to you. You're looking at the other series. You're looking at the Rangers and the Hurricanes.
I haven't been the best over, under, or money line. I finally got my first dub with that Flames money line, Game 7.
We chirped our record, and then we were right on both our bets.
Yes, even though you didn't win the most money with that bet, but it was kind of one of those things where I hit up Bet Regal. I think it was minus 141. I needed that dub, so I just went right after it. But I'm kind of itching towards the player props for that game, and I'm looking at Adam Fox points.
Okay.
0.5 over minus 142.
On where?
Let me tell you in 1 second. Bet365.
Bet365. So if you want to do what Ryan and I just did, you need to go to your app store and download the BetStamp app, or you need to hit the link in the description below. Use promo code BUDS upon sign up, and you can line shop across all the various sports books and get the best value for your wagers. As we just said, we had a good night the other night, and that's because we used the BetStamp app and we found the best odds, and boom, look at that.
And especially what I just said, when you're looking for kind of that favorite, you just want to get on the board with a dub. This is where this app comes in the most clutch, because that's when every penny matters.
Once again, hit the link in the description below or download the BetStamp app and use promo code BUDS upon sign up. It'll give you access to all the various sports books, and you'll be helping us out along the way. So please go ahead and do that. Good luck. Well, and that's so okay. So now that we've lamented today's sort of press conference and vented, let's look at like realistic options and scenarios heading into last season. We'll talk about the defense and the forwards in a second, but the most surprising thing that's been reported over the last 2 days is that there's a high chance that Jack Campbell will not be the goalie for this team next year because they simply cannot afford him, which, to your point about all the money they're paying all these other guys. Would you give Jack Campbell $5.5 million over 5 years at 30 years old?
I feel like this team gets in this situation. They did it with Dion Phaneuf. They did it with these guys. Yeah. I don't want to pay him that. But they get themselves in a position where they don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Because who's your starting goalie next year? You know who it is.
Peter
Mrazek.
Yeah. Well,
come on.
So if you're going to look at it and you're going to say the best case scenario for the goaltending for the Maple Leafs next year is Jack Campbell is probably going to walk. Some team is going to offer him that money, and it'll be the chance for him to sign the biggest contract of his career, and so he's going to take it. So let's assume that Jack Campbell will not be the goaltender next year. Peter Mrazek is no bueno. That is literally one of the worst decisions Kyle Dubas has made.
Awful, man.
So you either need to try and trade him to some sucker who will take him. You either need to buy him out, and then you'll have part of his salary count against your cap, or you need to trade him away and retain $1.5 million of his salary, which means you're still having him count against your cap. So one of those three options.
I mean, but if you don't have Jack Campbell, like, you can't do that.
So you've got to go. Yes, but I don't. You're right. So I think they will be in the market for another goaltender. We can sit. I don't want, like, you want to talk Darcy Kemper, or Marc-Andre Fleury, or whoever.
There's nobody.
Yeah. So
nobody.
So okay. So there's that. So you want to sign one of those guys, and then you hope that one of the guys you have in your system, a Shalgren, a Wall, or whatever, can be a competent backup option for you. Because I don't know if you heard this today, but apparently Jack Campbell was injured in on that Nick Paul collision on Saturday and wouldn't have been available for Game 1 tonight against Florida. So Eric Shalgren would have been going in the net for Game 1 against Florida. So those are your options. So I don't know. Goaltending has shot right to the top of the list of priorities for this team now that Jack Campbell likely won't be back. It's reported that they discussed their contract. They had contract talks earlier in the season, and they weren't close. The Leafs wanted him at like 2.5 to 3.5, and he was like, "No, I want 5.5." So we'll see where that goes. You move up to the defense, okay? Morgan Riley just signed a new deal, and he's got a full no move. He's not going anywhere.
Which is fine.
Yeah. You got TJ Brody. You got...
Who played great.
Yes.
I've no problem with that.
You got TJ Brody, and then after that, you got Sandine and Liljegren.
I think they're both RFAs.
Yes, but I think they both...
Yeah,
those,
I know.
Those probably both get done. Those probably both get done.
Yeah.
And I honestly do... I could see Mark Giordano taking what $750 they would give to Jason Spezza again and being back on the blue line next year.
I feel like he's not taking $750.
No, but the $750 that they would give to Spezza
maybe
will be
the extra
part
1.2 from Phil.
Yes, will be part of what they give to Mark Giordano. So I don't know, like Jake Muzzin,
I think their defense going into next season is sitting in a pretty similar spot it sat in this season. Like, you're not losing anybody big. I thought the Riley deal was a good thing that Dubas did. I think their defense is sitting pretty fine. Like, obviously, I'd want to get a better guy in here, but the way it stands right now is the way it's going to stand going into the next season. But I hear you talk about the goaltending, and it just leads you back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They don't have any money.
So okay. So let's cut the shit.
That's number one on anybody's list.
Okay. Let's cut the shit here and talk about the worst contracts on the team. Jake Muzzin, terrible contract for his production. His best days are behind him. Like, there's a lot of people I hear on the radio who are like, well, he brings something that you don't have. It's like, the guy can't stay healthy. The guy can't stay healthy.
The guy can't skate either.
For
I'm sorry.
$5.5 million.
He's not slowpoke out there, but I'm watching the Carolina Hurricanes. They have 4 defensemen who just buzz around the ice 24/7. And I'm watching slowpoke Muzzin. Like,
So let's just talk about the elephant in the room with respect to this hockey team, okay?
The worst contract in hockey is what you're referring to.
William Nylander has been the subject of trade speculation forever, but more so this year if you really want to talk about switching up the core or the DNA. You have had your gripes with William Nylander, but you even said last week he scored some big goals for you in the playoffs, and where are you going to get those 30 goals and all that kind of stuff?
Especially in that series, it's all the depth scoring dried up. And I mean, as much as I think that another guy can replace him at that money and do a more adequate job and be more well-rounded, yes, but
the reason why William Nylander is the number one trade target is because you have $11 million of your salary cap allocated to a third-line centerman. That's just a fact. I'm sorry. I love Johnny. You love Johnny. You love Johnny. We all love Johnny. We were all excited. Like, I'm not going to sit back and say signing him was a mistake. We all would have done it at the time. But they signed him with the hope that they really believed when they signed him that, we'll be competing for cups in the next 2. So, yeah, we're signing him for 7 years. That's too long. But we hope to get 3 to 4 good years of a cup window out of him. And then we'll worry about that after we've won our cups. That hasn't happened. Now, and there was definitely, I'm not going to get on them, there's definite extenuating circumstances. Pandemic, salary cap didn't go up. It's been a flat cap for years now. That's a tough bounce. But the reality of the situation, and in my opinion, the biggest flaw of this hockey team is John Tavares, a third-line centerman, making $11 million. And the fact that you cannot move that contract at all.
Well, they signed him with the intention that the best players on every team are going to match up against Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner. So that was John Tavares' spot to have a weaker matchup and to be as elite as everyone thought he was to take over hockey games and contribute offensively. I don't have any problem with what John Tavares brings his hockey team. I think that's where it gets kind of like muddled.
Well, but again, you get people like, dude, if I learned anything from, so our last episode that we did bonkers numbers and views on YouTube. If I learned anything from that episode, people hear and see things how they want to hear and see them. I got barbecued in the comments for calling the Justin Holl penalty absurd. There's almost 400 comments on that video. I bet you 300 of them are people yelling at me for saying the Justin Hull pick penalty was absurd. So
Yeah.
that's just the way it is. Like, people are not, the point you're about to make, and sorry to cut you off, people are going to glean from it what they will.
Yeah.
But anyways, go ahead.
But like, that's where people, exactly. You just proved my point, though. It's just, yeah, he's a good player, man. He produces like a second line center, points wise. It's just
not at $11 million.
Exactly. That's the problem.
You can't
That's
go
the problem,
get
man.
another impact forward.
You could split that money in half and get more than what you're just getting from him as one guy.
You can't go.
You could sign a goalie.
Yes.
That's the problem, and that's where we just come back. And I look at Kyle Dubas, and this is why he needs to wear this stuff.
Yeah,
I don't care. I get you need a scapegoat, but like, he's the one who has to wear all these decisions. He's the reason why they can't go get another goalie. He's the reason why they can't add another big forward. He's the reason why they can't get another defenseman. Like, that's just, it's simple as that.
Yeah.
It's just, and it's sad. It's sad because exactly what you said. We all love Johnny, but it's just, that's killing them.
It is killing them.
It's killing them.
It is killing them.
There's no other team in this league that's in this situation. They're the only team.
It's a
and it's
terrible,
brutal.
terrible contract.
Look what happened to the Chicago Blackhawks when those Kane and Taves contracts kicked in. They're done.
Yeah.
They don't even make the playoffs anymore.
Yeah.
Who's Jonathan Taves? Is he even a hockey player anymore? I don't see him.
Yeah.
It's not a recipe for success. Go look at the St. Louis Blues cap.
You know, it's insane.
Throw up.
Yeah,
look at the Calgary Flames. Their highest paid player, $7.5 million.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
I know.
Like, it's just killer,
and
man.
these guys with no track
The
record.
Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah.
Don't have a guy over 9.5.
And these guys with no track record of success just parade out here today and just sell us more nonsense.
Let's be everybody's buddy.
Yeah.
You know what, Ryan? That's a good question. Stop addressing people by their name. It doesn't make you a smart, nice man. So I'm done with that.
Yeah.
You're not a sharp guy because you do that anymore. I'm done with that.
Yeah.
Stop calling people by their first names and when you respond. It's not cool.
Yeah. So I've thought long and hard about the future of this hockey team. And to me, there is one thing and one thing only that I care about. The future, the soon-to-be Hart Trophy winner and two-time Rocket Richard winner's contract is up in 2 more seasons. This guy, if he doesn't see any progress, I believe, is out of here. You do whatever the hell you need to do to make that guy happy. I want to go full NBA superstar. I want to go full NFL quarterback. I want to go, this franchise revolves around you and whatever you need. And if we got to move anyone out of here to make this team better and to win a round or 2 or 3, we're going to do it. I don't care. Business is business. We're going to buy out whoever we need to buy out. We're going to trade whoever we need to trade. We're going to do whatever we need to do to ensure, because let me tell you something. Brendan Shanahan today, we'd love him to be a Leaf forever. Get out of the first round! Like, he won't be here. And
I don't know if I believe that.
Oh, I do. I
don't know if I believe that. I think in his mind, who's a better winger to play with him in the NHL than Mitch Marner?
I keep seeing people online talking about how we're going to make Marner the second-line center next year.
That's ridiculous.
Exactly. I see that everywhere.
In terms of a superstar player who, yes, he wants playoff success, but getting 60 cookies for this guy, I think is he doesn't know he hasn't won yet. So I think on par with playoff success right now is 60 cookies a year. Who's the number one guy to get him that? It's 16.
Yeah.
So I think as long as he has him by his side, I think that's a factor. I don't think it's like I'm done if there's no playoff success, because I think that's kind of bullshit, because he's got to wear some of that success. Do you see the way Connor McDavid played in Game 7?
Yep.
He didn't play like that.
Nope.
Good series.
Yeah.
Good series. But there's a level you've hit that's like elite.
Yeah.
But there's also a level you haven't hit yet.
Yes.
And I think a lot of this playoff success has you got to wear some of that. And I think it's bullshit if he bails because of that.
I don't know. I think that's
I think
that's
as
a
long
fair
as he's
point.
got his best buddy beside him.
I just dread the day.
Oh yeah, it's the worst.
Yeah.
I might be done. We might have to just
yeah. Well, yeah.
rip that right off the wall if that happens.
Oh yeah, we'll be packing up shop.
Oh,
Hundo P.
yeah,
Hundo
I'm
P.
with you. I like what you said though. I think the whole NBA mentality of you're the guy, kind of the LeBron James mentality. It's you're the general manager basically.
It's what love him or hate him. It's literally what the Green Bay Packers are doing right now with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, and I dude, if they lose this guy, like it's over.
Yeah, I know.
It's over.
I know.
When's the next time somebody like this is gonna roll around?
Never.
50 years?
Never.
Yeah, I'm with you with that. Like they gotta do whatever they can. Maybe that's why they're not signing anybody, because they're gonna have to
and you hope
pony up the dough. First player in NHL history to sign the 20% of the cap contract.
Yeah.
He's going to be the highest paid player in this league by a country mile.
Yeah.
And set the standard for every single star player in this league to come after him with an available contract.
You hope next year too that some of these kids take a step and like can be contributors, like Abruzzese, Robertson, Matthew Nyes. Like you hope like that is something that they're hoping, like they're banking on. I don't know. It's
what they did this year too. What we gave Dubas credit for with bringing in Kampf and Bunting. I think great years, man. But at the end of the day, it wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
It still wasn't good enough.
I want to hit on this one more time before we get out of here. I honest to God feel bad for William Nylander. Like I feel bad for him. Like he's getting asked again today about potentially being traded, and it's like the guy. You know what? There are times where he is so frustrating to watch, and I admit that. But at the end of the day, he is what he is, and if he's cast in the right role, which I think he was in this series against Tampa as a second or third line guy who can give you some depth scoring.
Yeah.
At $6.5 million in a non-flat cap world.
I don't think he's overpaid.
No.
I honestly don't.
No.
As much as he drives me insane and how there's other players making the same amount of money he does, but maybe give a little bit more. But man, that guy scores big goals when you need it.
But he gets thrown in to this because John Tavares is on the worst contract in hockey.
Yeah. It's not going anywhere either. They can't get rid of it.
No.
It's going to play out the string. And there's one dude who has to answer for that.
Yep.
And we're passing off the blame to a guy who's trying to match lines.
Yeah.
With what he's given.
I don't know if we're passing off blame. I don't know if we're passing off blame. It's just...
But I'm not into the scapegoat game here, man. I'm not.
Yeah.
We're past that.
Yeah.
Mike Babcock was the scapegoat.
Yeah, it's
now
true.
we're on to the next one?
It's true.
Come on.
Yeah,
it's crap, man.
It's true. All right. Well, that was a good half-hour yelling session.
Yeah. Just everybody today with their opinions. It just... I feel like some people they were on the right track.
This fan base is crazy.
Yeah.
Like you have some people who literally are like, fire everybody, trade everybody, and then you have the Pokemon collectors who are just so excited that they can have another 110, 115 point regular season and then don't worry about the playoffs because we got all our points. Points. Like it's
the balance, man.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it. You stay competitive, you might have a lot of playoff failures, or do you go back to being Ron Wilson and finishing dead last? You know?
Well, and I heard, you know what?
That's the problem. It's like, let's trade everyone. Okay, then
But
what?
again, I was like I said, I was listening to Overdrive, and Mike Johnson said, if you look at it, like they're running the calculation with this core, and you said last week too, you were like, as long as they have Matthews and Marner, they're gonna get there. It's just can they win? So they're kind of looking at it and playing the odds game and saying, if we keep this group intact, it'll at least get us there next year. And then we hope that they can break through.
They could have broke through, man.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's stupid is they were 2 high sticking penalties away from winning that series, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I know that Tampa could have scored a late goal. And some people were saying that thought they were bad penalties. I don't think they were bad penalties. They got 2 sticks up to the face. You're going to get called for a penalty. That's a black and white penalty. Puck over glass, high sticking, blatant trip. Those are black and white penalties. They happened to take 2 in 1 minute, and that was it. That was the difference. Yeah. If those penalties weren't called, we're having a completely different conversation right now.
It's true. All right, we're going to get out of here. We'll be back at some point to discuss any like major news or happenings with this Leaf team. I don't anticipate anything in the next couple of weeks, maybe towards the draft. We will be back a lot more often with the Talkin' Buds Blue Jays show, so keep that locked right here. We got to get back on the Jays train now that the Leaf train is over. That's a whole other discussion that we'll have on that show. And
I think we started that one a little prematurely coming into the playoffs, eh?
Yeah.
Let's start a Jay show. Oh, wait, the Leafs play every other night.
It's true.
Looks like we can't keep up with the Jays now.
But don't worry. We're going to get it back on the rails. We're going to get it back on the rails.
Yeah.
It's true. Thanks so much, everybody, for checking us out and watching us. The last episode we did was crazy. There were so many comments. Like I said, I
couldn't even read them, man.
Oh, my God, Ryan. I got annihilated. Like I said, there's like 400 comments on it. 250 of them are people being like, how can you say that the Hall call was absurd? It's a blatant pick. And then we have this other troll. We have this one guy who just loves just commenting on our videos and just talking so much shit about us and the show.
Is this the guy? The same guy?
No, it's a different guy. And he comments every week and he just loves like to just hate on us. And it's just like,
what's his tag? Is he like a real person?
I don't know. We'll see. I'll show him to you after. Well, but it's like you do you, man.
I got this theory that if it's a dummy account, I feel like there's some weird little troll job going on with someone we know.
Interesting.
Who's just creating a dummy account to just lay it on us.
It could. It very well could be.
It's just a theory.
Anyway,
just saying.
That's a different story for a different time. We're going to get out of here. Thanks, guys. Hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already, and click the link below to line shop across all your various sportsbook accounts with BetStamp. Once again, use promo code BUDS upon sign up. You can't beat it. See ya.